story that he wants to share with so many young people means a great deal to me. So thank you, Congressman, for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership and your vision, and for being my hero, our legend, the great Congressman John Lewis.
Very much, Stephen, for inviting me to come. Thank you for being the person you are. Thank you for finding a way to get in the way. Pastor, thank you for being here. James, thank you for opening up your lovely and beautiful home. And other members of the host committee, thank you. I think everything that needed to be said has been said, but I would take just a moment. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this man, this young man, this smart man, with vigor, energy, and vitality. Sending him to Washington. We need his leadership now more than ever before. We need his voice. He's cool. He's calm. But he has a sense of direction and a sense of purpose. He was someone before he made it to Washington, but you can be very proud of him. I see, and I've been around a while. This is my 14th term in the Congress. The good people of Georgia have elected me over and over again. I'm grateful. But I travel all across America. And I tell you, I run into elected officials, I run into politicians who love the world, but they don't like people. This man loves people. He's there on all of the big issues and great issues. Matter of fact, sometimes when I leave the floor we have and go someplace else and maybe go back home at night, you're there conducting what we call special orders. John, he can do it. Fighting for comprehensive immigration reform. And I heard today a member of the other party, the other side, say we may not be able to get it done this year, maybe next year. That's not right, that's not fair, and it's not just. It doesn't make sense for millions and millions of people to be living in a shadow and not brought out into the light. We all come from some other place, except Native Americans. It's time for us to pass comprehensive immigration reform. It's the right thing to do. It's right. There are forces in Washington and around our country that want to take us back to another period. We're saying we're not going back. We've come too far, and we've made too much progress to stop now.
Right.
We didn't want to stand still. I didn't almost die on a bridge in Selma. To go backward. We want to go forward and create an America. But no one is left out or left behind because of their race, their color, their nationality, or sexual orientation. We are one people, we are one family, we all live in the same house, the American house. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian American, or Native American. We are one people. This young man believed in that. It's good to be in this district. And it's good to see all of you. Thank you for going out there working, raising money, knocking on doors, calling on the telephone, and sending Stephen to Washington. You need to send him back. Don't take anything for granted. Not one thing. Some people said back in Georgia, back in Atlanta, oh, we don't need to get out there. John Lewis's going to be okay. I don't take anything for granted. And don't you take anything for granted. There are forces, I'm telling you, with hundreds and thousands and millions, and some of them have billions of dollars, and they're prepared to spend it. We cannot let that happen to Stephen. We need him. Not just you, but the people in Georgia, the people in my native state of Alabama, our state, people in Mississippi, people in New York, California, and all across our nation. We got to get out there and fight the good fight and never ever give up or give in or give out or get lost in a sea of despair. We have to keep the faith. I said to someone the other day, we got to get out there and fight like hell until we win. Not just a victory for the 4th district or victory for Las Vegas and Nevada, but a victory for America. And create one community, one family, one house. Now, when I first came up, someone asked me, did I know anything about raising chicken? And somebody heard me tell the chicken story. And I said, yes, but I'm not going to tell that story. I'm going to leave it for another time when I come back. But Stephen would tell you that we have some people in Washington, on the other side, and around the country and other places. They don't believe in government. They don't believe in building. They want to tear down everything. They want to divide. We want to bring people together and create one America and get our country moving to create jobs, save the environment. See that all of our children, all of our young people receive the best possible education. We can do it, and we must do it. I met Martin Luther King Jr. when I was 18 years old, in 1958. A year earlier, in 1957, when I was only 17, I met Rosa Parks. But I heard of those two individuals back in 1955 when I was only 15. They changed my life. When we were visiting the little town of Troy, I saw those signs. I visited Montgomery. I saw those signs that said white men, colored men, white women, colored women, white waiting, colored waiting. And I asked my mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents why. They would say, that's the way it is. Don't get in the way, don't get in trouble. But Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. inspired me to get in the way, to get in trouble. And sometime in America, I think we need to get in trouble.
Amen.
Good trouble. Necessary trouble. I want all of you, each one of you, to get in trouble, good trouble, to help Stephen out. We all can do something to bring about change, to help send this man back to Washington. We need him, as I said before. His vision, his leadership, his commitment, his dedication. He's highly respected. You know, he's been there almost a year, right? But he's one of the highly, most respected members of the Congress. You know, I've seen people come and go, and I've seen a lot of folks come and go. And I see some people just keep a seat warm. But this young brother, Stephen would tell you, I call most of the guys brothers. How you doing, young brother? How you doing, young brother? And I call the young women, how you doing, sister? How you doing, young sister? But this brother, he's doing his thing. You help him out. You'll be all right, and he will be all right, and our country will be all right. You send him to Washington. Don't forget him. Send him back over and over again. He's young. He's staying in the Congress. long time. Get on the right committees. He's on a great committee now. You on 2 committees? 3. Working too well. 3 committees. He's really working hard. And you will see him emerge and emerge. He'll become one of the great leaders of all time. Thank you very much for so.
If we want to ask the Congressman about some of his experiences or any pressing issues that are happening right now before the Congress, we'll take a couple of questions and then we have to get the Congressman to his next event. You bet.
Welcome to Las Vegas. We love you here.
Well, I love coming here.
Thank you. The question is, the Congressional Black Caucus has had a jobs bill for years now. We can't seem to get any traction on it. And as an issue within the African American community, especially here, and I know throughout the United States, but especially here, where African Americans are actually being edged out of the job market. Our unemployment numbers continue to rise. And when we look at what are traditional jobs that blacks have done in this state, we are being edged out where the numbers, I'm not going to go into those, Congress, our representative knows what those numbers are. But what can we do? How can we as a community, as a grassroots community, help to push that agenda forward so that the Congressional Black Caucus feels the sense of urgency that they feel on immigration, on marriage equality, and other issues there in Congress. It's that important to us. Discrimination and racism still exists, and we feel it, and we're the brunt of it. And so how can we help our Congressional Black Caucus members push that agenda from locally?
Well, thank you very much. Stephen is working every single day. Members of the caucus continue to work. As you know, on the House side, we don't control the majority. If you would put a job bill on the floor tomorrow, on Tuesday when we get back, I think it would pass. The president was down in Miami last night, in New Orleans today, the day before maybe. But he's been talking about jobs, and we need to do it. We're not there yet. Use the new technology. Get out there and make some noise. To members of the congressional delegation in this state, but to the leadership in the House, and
don't forget you said it.
yeah, I'm saying.
It's recorded.
Good trouble. Good trouble.
Yeah.
And just to add to the Congressman's remarks, there is an infrastructure bill that the House, there's actually a bipartisan bill. It's got 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans. It's a major jobs infrastructure bill. I am a co-sponsor of that bill with John Delaney from Maryland, who's the primary sponsor. Within that bill are requirements around minority participation, and at the federal level, as you know, we can have those type of requirements in federal law that we aren't able to have here in the state of Nevada because of the disparity data that's lacking here, which I know you and the
we have that fixed now with our new state,
at the state level. Yes.
We got that fixed.
So that's a good progress. So that is one of the priority bills. The president, as the Congressman said, is, I think, ramping up the issue around infrastructure. For whatever reason, a jobs bill, quote unquote, isn't passing the House Republicans, but there is support for infrastructure legislation that lead to jobs. And so that's kind of the new frame, if you will, that we're talking about in order to create those jobs and to make sure that all communities get to participate, not just some.
We just need some help with the unions and getting more representation within those construction jobs, because we're only at 1% of those public works jobs.